Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 5 at Santa Anita, second of 2 graded stakes races. 3 stakes overall on the card at the Great Race Place on Sunday. This is the San Simeon Grade 300 Grand. We're going down the hill at the about distance of 6.5 furlongs. Let's take a peek at this field. And Mike, when Brickyard Ride is right, and we don't see Brickyard Ride very often, he is brilliantly fast. He's going to be running in this race off of a lengthy layoff, and you know he's going to be on the lead.
Yeah, you do have to, I guess, concern yourself with the layoff, Dan. I mean, he's not a horse who has come back off of too many long layoffs in his career, but he did come off of one last January and win in fast time. That was on dirt. He'll try it on turf this time. This is a good field, Dan. He kind of looks like he's absolutely loose on the lead in here.
Timeform US pace projector, perfect segue, and there's Brickyard Ride on the lead after the opening quarter mile in the San Simeon, and if he breaks, that's exactly where he should be. He's good on dirt, he's good on turf, and let's watch his most recent turf start, the Sensational Star, going down the hill on March 20th, 2022. He handled the downhill turf course beautifully, Mike. Didn't have any issues with that dirt patch, and he holds on to win after setting a legitimate pace. He's a good horse.
Yeah, he's just a good horse. I think you could make the argument that he's a little bit better on dirt, perhaps, than he is on turf, Dan. But man, limited tries on the grass. He's 3 for 5. The only times he lost, one of them going a mile, he crashed through the rail in the stretch. And then in the other one, for some reason, they tried to rate him going 5 furlongs at Del Mar, and that didn't work out. They have not rated him since then, and he's really, really fast early. He's gonna be really hard to run down if he's close to ready off the layoff here.
Generally like turnbacks in these 6.5 furlong downhill races. The Two Sumter is going to cut back after this pace-setting effort in the Mathis Mile towards the end of 2022. Went right to the front in this two-turn race, set a legitimate pace, just got tired at the end. He likes to be up close to the pace, so chasing Brickyard Ride might make him susceptible to some of the others. Perhaps the shorter distance is better. Personally, I wonder if his speed plays better at longer distances.
I do too. Maybe he can get a good trip in this race, though. We'll see. You're right, though. I don't think you want to be chasing Brickyard Ride early in this race, so we'll see how Mike Smith elects to play it. I do kind of feel like this distance could really work for him, though, Dan. He broke his maiden, or he ran well going 5 furlongs a few times early in his career. He's a 2-time stakes winner going a mile, so it feels like right in the middle here at this distance, this could really work out for him.
Number 3 is Count of Amazonia, stepping up into the stakes race in very good form off a win and a second-level allowance going down the hill. Now, he was turning back in this race off of a 9-furlong effort. He swings to the outside, turning for home. He's going to drive clear. This was his first race with blinkers, and he felt very handsome in them.
Yeah, he looked good winning this race. This is a pretty easy victory. This is the first time down the hill for him in over a year, Dan, but he seems like he likes these races. Down the hill 3 times in his career. He's run well in all of those races. I guess at a price, you could just sort of make the argument here. Brickyard Ride off the layoff, shows speed, gets tired in the stretch, and it sort of opens things up.
The number 4 is What Makes Sammy Run. And boy, did Joe Bravo give this horse a beautiful ride when he won the Eddie D over course and distance 3 starts back. He was able to find the pocket on the turn, then got out to split horses. All the right moves from Bravo with What Makes Sammy Run. In the Stormy Liberal 2-back, I just think 5/8 is a little bit sharp for this horse, and he wound up last on the rail, still rallied for second. Last time out in the Hernandez, he was a little bit off form. Maybe this freshening works for him.
Yeah, a little bit flat in his most recent start. He's had some time since then. That race was also over less than firm turf, so maybe that's some kind of an excuse, Dan. It's not a race that really came back for him. The leaders that were the horses that were up close at the end were also up close at the start. So maybe there are ways to mitigate that performance. It wasn't a good one. You're right, his Eddie D was really good. He did get a good trip that day, but he also accelerated once he got clear, which is exactly what you want to see. I'm this horse's biggest fan. I think he's a huge, huge player in here.
The number 5 is Motorius, who returned off a layoff to win 2 in a row, stepped up into the stakes ranks for the first time since coming to North America for trainer Phil D'Amato, acquitted himself quite well in the restricted Clocker's Corner. He's last on the rail, turning for home, Mike. I thought maybe he was a little bit conservatively handled in the early portion of this race. He doesn't change leads in the stretch, but he does stay on well for second behind Lane Way, who's a pretty promising sprinter.
Yeah, that's a good horse that's winning the race, and I'm with you on perhaps the ride that this horse got there. I don't know that it gave him his best chance to win here. He's a very short price in this race, and they just left him with way too much to do there. Pratt didn't even take him to the outside on the turn to get a run started. He waited, and then by the time he came running, it was way too late. He was seriously impressive. 2 starts back, though, winning from off the pace in a fast race.
Motorius finished second in the Clocker's Corner. We just saw the 6 Respect the Code finish third. I thought Respect the Code had a pretty decent trip. He sat in the pocket. He had a chance on the outside. He just wasn't good enough on that day. He's lightly raced enough that we can project improvement, but he's likely going to have to improve.
Yeah, I think this is a tough spot for this horse because you're right. I mean, maybe he takes a step forward here, but he had better against a field like this one. He just really was no match for Motorius in either of the last 2 starts, and then 3 back when they ran him in the stakes race. He wasn't even close to good enough.
The third start off a lengthy layoff for the number 7 Anarchist. He's only won once in his career. That was sprinting on dirt at Ellis Park. This will be the turf debut. It kind of seems like a tough spot to switch surfaces.
Yeah, that's how I looked at him too. I mean, he's run okay on dirt a few times, Dan. Even if you think he's going to be better on the turf courses, and I don't think there's a ton of pedigree to suggest that. Boy, he's going to have to be a lot better against this field.
Mecklenburg completes the field. Now, this is another horse that's cutting back in distance with some positional speed. I really think the question is he good enough? He was winning for $40,000 4 starts back.
It just feels like he's in a very tough spot here. Cutting back, maybe that helps him, Dan. I guess he won't be too far away from the pace if he can, just sort of use a little bit of that speed from the outside. He needs a career best performance to win this race, though.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the San Simeon. We're going down the hill, and we both agree. If Brickyard Ride is ready off the layoff, he's supposed to go right to the front. He's supposed to speed pop him, right?
Yeah, I just didn't see any real speed to go with him. I think that makes him really tough to beat in here if he's ready off the bench. It was hard for me not to put what makes Sammy run on top, Dan, but I went 1-4.
Curious to see if Motorius runs well again. Would like to see him switch leads in the stretch, but it looks like he's got a kick and a little bit of upside. 1-4-5-2 for Mike, 1-5-6-2 for me. It's the Grade 3 San Simeon at Santa Anita on Sunday. Good luck.